Hello from San Antonio, this is SIREN TaRoT. Welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. His or her next move, subscriber's request. This reading is timeless, and for this reading there are 4 different options. Option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. As always, timestamps will be provided. Don't overthink it. Just think of your person of interest. Take a deep breath and make your selection. If you chose the first crystal, here's your reading. Six of Wands, 9 of Swords, 7 of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups. My most romantic deck, Legend Arthurian. Page of Spears, Page of Cups, Knight of Shields, 2 Knights, that's interesting. I was going to say that I feel like this is someone you've known for a while because we have the 9 of Wands in the center, but then we have these pages. 3 nines, 9 is the number of Aries. I don't feel like this is someone you've known for years. I feel like this is a new, fresh connection. The 9s could be that this person is just being very careful. They're giving a lot of thought, too much thought to this connection. They're in their head a lot. There's a lot of noise. This person could be carrying a lot of baggage from previous relationships. They could have recently gone through a really difficult breakup, maybe a divorce, and they don't want to rebound. So they're being careful. But there's a very strong attraction. And I see this person possibly being a workaholic. They overwork, they work themselves to exhaustion, and that's how they process the emotions that they're carrying. They're going through a lot. And so they're working through the pain by just working and working nonstop is what I'm getting for pile 1. This person is really independent and they're scared of emotions. So they're attracted to you, but I'm seeing very minimal effort. I'm seeing baby steps. They're not going to rush into anything with you. Even though they're excited because they're so attracted to you. They're going to take a very slow, cautious, measured approach. This is not the energy of someone who's going to love bomb you, which is a good thing. They're not going to love bomb you. They're not going to slide into the DMs. They're not going to send you pictures you didn't ask for. They're going to be very conservative in their effort, very conservative in their communication. This person could have Sun in Capricorn, Mercury in Aquarius, Sagittarius rising, Moon in Cancer. It's just one possibility of many. But I feel like this person is traditional when it comes to relationships, and they know the steps. So if you're a woman and this is a man, if this is a heterosexual connection, he knows that he has to be the one to get this going because he's traditional, but he's not going to just come on strong like the Knight of Wands, because this is not the Knight of Wands. This is a blend of the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, the two most feminine knights, because water and earth, that's feminine energy. I do feel like this person has a masculine Mars, though. They could have Mars in Aries, Mars in Leo, maybe Mars in Sagittarius. But I don't feel like you know this person well enough to even know their astrology. If you're watching them on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, you may know their birthday, their sun sign. But this is very fresh energy with the 2 pages and these 2 feminine knights. I would say this person does have a crush on you. They're thinking about you a lot. They have their daydreams while they're working. They're dreaming about you, daydreaming, fantasizing. But they're not going to just go crazy and send you flowers tomorrow. So I would say it's a good thing. It's really strong to have the 2 knights together like that as the last 2 cards. Okay, the Astro die. We have the numbers, and we have planets and the signs, and the basic die. Okay. Mars in Virgo in the 3rd house. Double mutable. 3rd house, house of Gemini. So yeah, this person thinks a lot. They're always in their head. Overthinking, overanalyzing, looking at all the pros and the cons. Very careful with their communication. Four is Aquarius, 6 is Venus, 10 is 1, Leo, another 6, 3, Sagittarius. So 7 is actually the number making Pisces the dominant energy. Yeah, this person is dreamy and romantic, but they hide that. They hide their dreaminess behind a stoic facade. They may come across like they have no emotions at all. They're stoic, they're stern, they're serious. But this person is deeply romantic, and so they don't take relationships casually. This is not a hit it and quit it. They don't do friends with benefits. When they're with someone, it's because they're in love with the person. They're not going to just have sex for the sake of having sex. They'd rather be alone. 6, Venus. They could have some Taurus placements, or Libra. 6 is Venus. They could have stuff in the 6th house, the house of Virgo, because this person is a hard worker. Maybe they root for the Red Sox or the White Sox. Baseball fan. Roxy. One of my many pseudonyms, Roxy Christmas. I have a Roxy Christmas channel at YouTube. That's Xmas, Roxy Christmas, or Xmas as some would say. This person has excellent manners. They're able to apologize. Some people can't apologize. This person is good at apologizing. Their mom did a good job. They have class. They have good manners. We have 10, and then we have 11, we have 9. I'm seeing Steve. Joe. I don't have all the letters, obviously, but I'm seeing Joe. Oh, we have Roy. Okay. Ray, Roy, sir. They might have been raised by someone who was in the military. It was yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Elvis Presley was raised that way. Elvis Presley had excellent manners. His parents weren't military, but they were old school Southerners. Elvis was a Capricorn. I think he had moon in Pisces, Sagittarius rising. Okay. Yeah, that's what I see for one. Hope that helps. I do this full time. I'm always available for private readings. All the info's in every box. Thanks for watching. Peace out. And if you chose the second crystal, here is your reading. Justice. The Fool. Page of Cups. Eight of Wands. Strength. So we have an axis, Aquarius, Leo. Whenever I see an axis and a spread, that suggests a really strong sexual attraction. And actually, I'm seeing two axes because I didn't learn this anywhere. It's just my intuition. I associate Eight of Wands with Aries, Libra. So very strong sexual attraction for two. Judgment. It's all fire. Except for the Page of Cups, so far this is all masculine energy, air and fire. My most romantic deck, one of my oldest decks, Legend Arthurian. Eight of Cups, two eights. Eight is Capricorn. That ice machine is so loud. Temperance. And the Six of Spears. So probably most of you who chose to, you're already in communication with this person. The communication's hot. It's consistent. It's energetic. I see this person just reaching out to you a lot. I see them initiating conversations on a regular basis. This is not the energy of someone who is ambivalent. This is not the energy of someone who runs hot and cold. This person is very intentional and strong in their communication. If they want you, you're going to know that. There's no guessing game. Okay, there's no maybe baby. This person comes on very strong. I'm getting strong Aries vibes. So this person could have Sun and Mercury in Aries, Leo rising, Moon in Aquarius. I feel like they have a lot of masculine energy because I'm looking at a lot of masculine cards, air and fire. This person does not run hot and cold. This is not the energy of someone who's going to be blowing up your phone one day, the next they go ghost. They don't zigzag. They have a clear linear path. I want to be with you, and this is how it's going to go. And they're going to be very clear and direct in their approach. If this is a man, I'm seeing the kind of man, I mean, it can be man, woman, but I'm seeing a man. If this is a man, he's someone who, he's very matter of fact. What you see is what you get. There's no pretension. There's no game playing. I'm seeing a man in a gym. He's got very strong discipline. He's got a very strong work ethic, and he just goes. Crazy, crazy energy. He has a vehicle that he takes excellent care of. It's clean and it's fast. A clean, fast vehicle. That could be anything. I'm not really a vehicle or car person. I don't really care about cars, but he could have a big deal vehicle. He could have a BMW or a Tesla or a Ferrari, something like that. But this person has absolute confidence. This person is very high functioning. This person is very adept at 3D stuff. So not a dreamer, not especially romantic. This is a departure from what I saw in pile 1. This is different. When this person meets someone, they look them in the eye and they give a firm handshake. They're very strong. They're very confident in communication. This person could be a doctor or a lawyer, a CEO. They could have millions, maybe billions. That's becoming more popular. People that have billions of dollars, billionaires in the United States. Elon Musk is halfway to becoming a trillionaire. He has more than $500 million apparently. So this person's highly successful. They got money in the bank. They have investments. They have real estate. They could have a few vehicles. And I'm getting BDE, big dick energy for this person. Whatever they're working with, it's big, it's intense, big, intense energy. Very good lover. They take excellent care of their vehicle, their home, their pets, if they have them. They take care of themselves. They have a very strict diet that they don't deviate from. This person's not going to go through the drive-through at Burger King or McDonald's. This is not a drive-through person. This is not a couch potato. This is not someone who's going to just sit around and binge watch whatever, the latest serial killer series at Hulu or whatever. I don't know all the networks. I don't watch TV, but that's becoming increasingly popular for whatever reason. I think it's disgusting. But the serial killer series, this person does not just sit and binge watch anything. They're very smart with their time. And the word or the phrase well-oiled machine just popped into my head. So yeah, they're very smart and intentional with their time. They're not lazy. They are very picky, very selective. So their next move, because I feel like you're already in communication, but if you're not, their next move is going to be, well, they're going to send you a message. They're going to let you know what's up. They're going to tell you, look, I want to get to know you better. I want to meet you here at this time. We're going to get together and we're going to talk. And before they, like if you met online, they're not going to meet you at some 5-star restaurant for the first meeting. For the first meeting, it's going to be, let's get coffee somewhere, or let's meet up for drinks after work, something like that. But this person is not sleazy and they're not secretive. They're very big on monogamy. This is not a third party kind of person. They're not ever going to have 2 or 3 things going at once. They want one person. And if this person really wants to start something with you, you'll be the first to know, because there's no cat and mouse games with this person. Their energy is so strong. I'm getting out of breath just looking at these cards. That never happens, but this energy is very overwhelming. Okay. Mercury. Mercury in Scorpio in the 7th house, house of Libra. Yes, I see them being very intense with their communication. And they're a very good lover. They leave the lights on and there's intense eye contact, and they're very good at everything they do. They're just a perfectionist, and they will definitely show you an excellent time if the two of you get together and something is started. If this is romantic, sexual, they will show you a very, very good time. Okay, 1 is Leo. This person gets attention. They don't fade into the background. They definitely stand out. 4, Aquarius. 5, Mercury, Gemini, Virgo. Another 1. 2 is Cancer. And that's funny. 6 is the number. I was looking at the stove clock and it was 4:02. Now it's 4:04. But I was just glancing at the stove clock and it said 4:02. So 6. Venus. Yeah, this person is really attracted to you, and you're going to know exactly what is up. They're not going to send a carrier pigeon, or, they're not going to be weird or vague at all in their communication. Foxy lady, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was Sagittarius. Foxy lady. We have Roxy. Roxy has been popping up a lot lately. Fix. They could have a lot of fixed energy, but I'm really getting strong cardinal vibes. They could have cardinal and fixed in their astro. Nixon, the last name. Don't have all the letters, but Roy. Ned, Nathan, Nick. Maybe they have an old school 70s fro. Oren. Or we're missing a K. We could have Orkin. They could work for pest control. But I'm not really getting pest control vibes. I'm getting more doctor, lawyer, business owner, salesman, realtor. Well, you get the gist. Yeah, that's what I see for 2. I hope that helps. I do this full time. I'm always available for private readings. All the info's in every box. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. And if you chose 3, here's your reading. King of Wands, 2 of Swords, the Moon, the Lovers. It's a great card. It makes me think of the 60s and the early 70s, the Woodstock, the hippies. Page of Rods, 7 of Cups. My most romantic deck, Legend Arthurian. King of Spears, King of Wands, twice in the first row. That's significant. Hierophant. 3 of Cups. Now for this, I am getting possible third party, friends with benefits, situationship. This is very murky. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. We got a lot to unpack. This person is very good at compartmentalizing and keeping secrets. This person is for this purpose over here, and this person over here is for this purpose. So this person is manipulative, and they're good at keeping secret relationships going. Like they could be seeing two people simultaneously, and the two people have no idea. They have no idea they're in a third party. This is morbid, but I was just talking about all the fascination with serial killers and Pile 2, all the series, which I would never watch any of them, but I've heard about them and I would never watch. Now, when I was a kid, growing up in rural Texas in the 70s, I was an avid reader. I was very curious. And the books that I stumbled upon, the books that my family had, just happened to be true crime books. And so I had terrible nightmares when I was a kid. I was in elementary school reading Fatal Vision and books like that, Blood and Money, terrible books. So I got all that out of my system when I was a kid. I have no desire to read about or watch movies or shows about these serial killers. But this is what's coming to mind. Ted Bundy, who was Sagittarius, and they did a study or something. There was some kind of thing that I read a few years ago where most serial killers had strong mutable energy in their charts. Just a curious thing. Ted Bundy, Sagittarius. Richard Ramirez, he was Pisces. Gacy was Pisces. Dahmer was Gemini. It's just interesting. So Ted Bundy, The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, who also wrote Small Sacrifices about Diane Downs. Anyway, you know, they were friends, apparently. I don't think I ever read that book, but Anne Rule and Ted Bundy were friends for years. She had no idea that he was a serial killer. And while he was doing all the stuff he was doing, he had a serious relationship, you know, and people would never suspect him. He was a good-looking white man. I mean, looks are subjective. I don't think he was sexy, but people regarded him as a conventionally handsome man, you know. And so I'm seeing someone, hopefully they're not a killer, it's not that dark, but like someone like Ted Bundy, they're good at keeping up appearances, showing people what they want to see, you know, playing the whole status quo game, but they have their little secrets. They have a lover over here and a lover over there, something like that. I'm getting someone who's very adept at manipulation and playing the game, the Matrix, playing the Matrix game. Oh, well, this has been an intense reading. I'm having to catch my breath. There's been 2 piles where I'm just sucker punched by the cards. I feel like a lot of you who chose 3, you're already in some kind of connection with this person. I mean, and by that I mean this is not someone you've been flirting with on Instagram and you're just wondering when they're going to message you again. I feel like you and this person are in each other's phones. I feel like you've had sex, or at least sexting, because, you know, having the King of Wands twice, sandwiching the lovers, I feel like intimacy has been established. And so I feel like a lot of you probably who chose 3, you're wondering, is this going to progress? Is this person going to choose you? Is this going to be exclusive? I would say no. It's not going to progress. It's not going to be exclusive. This is someone who's always going to be dirty. And by dirty, I mean muddy, mutable energy. They can never be with just one person. They can never be in a true monogamous relationship. They're always looking out the window, looking at the next thing. always talking to this person on this day. And you get the gist. I don't have to go on and on about it. This person is very mutable. They're not sure who they are or what they want. They're in a fog. So I'm getting Neptune, I'm getting Pisces. We have the Moon, which that is a Pisces card, and we have 7 of Cups. 7 is the number of Pisces. And we have 3 of Cups, which can be friends with benefits or a situationship. So I feel like this person has friend zoned you. They like getting together for sex, but that's as far as it's going to go. And that's probably a good thing. I would not want to be in a serious long-term relationship with someone who has this kind of energy, because you can't trust this person. And probably a lot of you who chose 3, you've already seen the red flags. You get an uneasy feeling. You feel like there's something not quite right. There's something about this person you just can't trust. They play a good game, but there's something that's just missing here. But usual caveat, it's not a personal reading. I'm reading for a global audience. A possible astral combo for this person, they could have Sun in Gemini, Moon in Pisces, Sagittarius rising. Maybe their astral combo is all mutable. Okay, the astro die. Their next move is just more of the same. They'll contact you when they want to contact you, and you'll never know quite where you stand with this person. They're not definite. They're very wavery and weird in their communication. I'm seeing hot and cold. I'm seeing cat and mouse games. Yeah. South Node. You could have a South Node conjunction in Sinistry, and that's always problematic. If someone's South Node is touching one of your luminaries or personal planets, like say for instance, you have South Node in Pisces and this person has Mars conjunct your South Node in Pisces, that's going to be some dirty karma that has to be worked out. South Node in Cancer in the 2nd house, that's the house of Taurus. Yeah, you have no security with this person. There's no security. There's no stability. Whenever you get a message from them, or before you send a message to them, you feel the snakes of dread in your stomach. You don't get butterflies, you get snakes. You just get this sick feeling like something's going to happen. Something's going to come out regarding this person. There are bodies in the basement, and I don't mean literal bodies. I'm using that as a metaphor. This person has secrets. They have a lot of skeletons in the closet. That's what I'm getting. Six, Venus. Well, they look good. People can look at this person and say, oh, that person's really attractive. So they probably get away with stuff because of their looks. 3, Sagittarius. 9, Aries. 5, Mercury, Gemini, Virgo. 8, Capricorn. This person does not have integrity. They don't have accountability. So 8 and 6, yeah, 14. 5 is the dominant number. Mercury's the dominant energy. This person's very charming. People would be shocked to know what's actually going on in this person's mind. I'm seeing Scott. Slot. You know, there was that phrase, I don't know if people still say this, but it was a thing for years and years, going postal. You know, there's this quiet, just non-descriptive person working in the mailroom, or this postal employee, and they're quiet and they clock in and they clock out and they do their job, and then one day they go crazy. Something like that. I'm getting weird vibes for this. AI. Is this person real or are they AI? For some, this is a catfish situation. You think that you're talking to this person, then you meet up at Starbucks and it's not what you were led to believe. I'm seeing Alan, Elaine, Alyssa, Lisa. Yeah, we have Lisa. It's like I was telling my husband and our son last night, going through the drive-thru at Burger King, because my son likes the Impossible Burger and my husband wanted to get a Whopper, and I don't do drive-thrus anymore. I was saying, with all the transits that we're moving into in 2026, timeless reading, but I'm recording this in Scorpio season 2025. All the transits we're moving into in 2026, people are going to have to learn how to really heed their intuition and don't ignore the red flags. I'll leave it at that. I'm seeing Mona Lisa, that famous painting. You know, she has that very weird, mysterious expression on her face. What was she thinking? Mona Lisa, Lona, I'm seeing Neil, Nolan, Lion, okay, salon. They go to the salon a lot and get their hair done, hair, nails. I'm seeing Tony. Yeah, if it resonates at all, just proceed with caution. Pile 3, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's what I see. That's what I have. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Four. Looking at the stove clock, it's 4:20. Smoke them if you got them, or eat them if you got them. Eat brownies, eat edibles, mushrooms, gummies, whatever. I'm going into Toledo for this poetry thing on Thursday. I'm flying in and I'm going to be surrounded by people who are drinking and smoking and feeling no pain, and I'm sober, so it'll be interesting. The Hermit, 10 of Cups, the Sun. Ooh, 7 of Swords, Queen of Rods, 3 of Rods. I prefer the word wand. It just sounds prettier than rod. Wand, rod. You have spears, staves, wands, rods, the Tower, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups twice. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. It won't resonate with everyone. That's impossible. It's not a personal reading. I'm reading for a global audience. It's a pick a card reading. So any pick a card reading that you watch at YouTube, I'm just stating the obvious here. Not a grain of salt, a chunk of salt. Entertainment purposes. This is what I'm seeing for 4. It is third party. I see this person going through a divorce, and it's a very intense divorce. Some divorces are easier than others. With this divorce, there are kids and there's a lot of property, there's a lot of money. And so this is the kind of thing that could drag out for 2 years or longer. A very complicated divorce. At least when it started out, I feel like if this person is going through a divorce, they're separated from whoever they're divorcing. They have their own residence. But when you and this person started talking, it was probably covert. They had to be sneaky. They had to be secretive whenever they texted or talked to you. Maybe you're the reason for the divorce, or maybe it's just incidental. Maybe, I don't know, it could be anything, but I'm seeing a lot of players here, a lot of participants in this drama. It's not just you and the person on your mind. There's a lot going on here. I'm seeing really intense sex. So probably most of you who chose 4, you've had sex with this person. If you haven't, then you've at least sexted. There's been some kind of intimacy. Not just emotional intimacy, because we have all these wands, so I'm seeing sex. I feel like this is you in the center. You're the Queen of Rods or the Queen of Wands. So if you chose 4, you could have Sun in Leo, Aries rising, Moon in Sagittarius. Maybe your astral combo is all fire. You could be a raging extrovert. You get a lot of attention. And this person has you on a pedestal. They're really into the sex. You're like their sexual ideal is what I'm getting for 4. But there are periods of time where you don't talk. Well, they're going through a really complicated divorce, apparently. And they have a stressful job, so they see you when they see you. They talk when they can. And this song does not really fit. It doesn't fit what I'm seeing here, but it just popped into my head. When things pop into my head, I just go with it. Because it could resonate with someone, who knows. The song I'm hearing is a favorite song of mine, Wishing You Were Here by Chicago. I think it was from the 70s. I love the Ode Chicago from the 70s. I got to get them on vinyl. And I'd like to change my life, and you know I would, just to be with you tonight, baby, if I could. But I got my job to do, and I do it well. So yeah, this person could travel a lot for work. They could be on the road. They could be a truck driver. They could be military. They could be an airplane pilot or a flight attendant. So they're traveling. I'm seeing the suitcase that has wheels. I just bought 3 of those at Kohl's last night. These big suitcases on wheels for our trip to Ohio. Me, my son, my husband. Anyway, I'm seeing the suitcase on wheels. And this person's frantically checking their phone for messages from you. They kind of go into a panic when they've not heard from you. They don't like not hearing from you. They like being in pretty consistent communications, what I'm seeing. And they could worry about you. They could send an occasional text, just checking in, are you okay? I haven't heard from you. And maybe you've pulled back because you're trying to give this person space because they are going through it and you don't want to be intrusive or invasive. You don't want to be an energy vampire. You don't want to ask for too much of this person's time. That's what I'm getting for 4. This person's energy, a possible astral combo for this person, they could have Sun and Mercury in Virgo, Aries rising, Moon in Leo. Now these are just possibilities, but I feel like you and this person have really strong electric, energetic synastry. I would say you have at least one significant conjunction. And when I say significant, I don't mean Pluto, Neptune, but I mean something like Mars, Venus, or Moon, Sun, Mercury, Mercury. The luminaries, the personal planets, that's where the heat, that's where the intensity is. Now, if you have a Pluto conjunct Moon or Sun or Venus, that's going to be intense. But if it's, because people trip on things, they get excited over the wrong things. If it's something like Pluto, Neptune, you know, the far out planets in a conjunction, that's not going to be much. That's just generational. The generational planet has to touch the luminary or one of the personal planets. So I feel like you have very intense synastry. Their next move is going to be to reach out and to let you know that they want this. They take this connection seriously. Now, again, this is not a personal reading. I'm reading for a global audience, but for some, there is the potential for when the dust has settled, the two of you getting married. I can see this being a lifelong committed relationship eventually, not anytime soon. There's a lot to work out here. Okay, Jupiter, the luckiest planet. Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is currently in Cancer. As I record this, November 2025. Jupiter in Cancer in the 4th house. That's the house of Cancer. So I can see you and this person being lucky together, being one of those lucky couples who you have the beautiful home, you have the beautiful family. Maybe it's a blended family, or maybe you have your own family. I don't know, but a lucky couple. You just look like you belong together, like a celebrity couple. You know, people want to look at you. People notice you when you're out in public. And you could attract a lot of envy because you're good looking, you're a good looking couple, and you have money, you have abundance. And so you may attract some evil eye stares. One is Leo. Yeah, you stand out in a crowd on your own, but when you're together, the two of you, you really get attention. One is Leo, 2 is Cancer, Daddy and Mommy. 3, Jupiter, Sagittarius, another 2. 4, Aquarius. 5 is actually the dominant number, so Mercury is the dominant energy. I would say most of you who chose 4, you are in consistent communication with this person. This is not someone you've not talked to in 2, 3, 4 weeks or a month. So if you're wondering about a vague connection where there's very minimal contact, pick another pile. Rosa. I'm also seeing Aaron. And if this is a man, well, regardless, but if it's a man, he has a deep, gorgeous voice. Okay. But man or woman, they could have a beautiful voice. They could be a really good singer. Maybe they kill it on the karaoke mic. This person could be a chef. Could be an airplane pilot, or they were in the Air Force. I'm seeing Aaron, I'm seeing Troy, Trey, Travis, Trevor, Bart, the name, and also the public transit, BART, Oakland, San Francisco, subway. Yeah, this person, they could work as a chef, or they're just really good in the kitchen. They could cook for you. They could make these elaborate, delicious meals. LAX. Strong pilot vibes. And I'm seeing Bert. I don't have all the letters, but Bert. Okay. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't know if I've ever had this beer. I've had a lot of beer in my time. Shiner Bock, Indio, Corona, Tecate. I've had a lot of beer, but I don't think I've ever had a Pabst. Okay. Roxy keeps showing up. I don't have the I, but Roxy. Yeah. That's what I see for 4, and that does conclude this pick a card reading. Thank you all so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Sending you all massive love and light from San Antonio.